Hello there, I'm Paul Franklin. I am the creative director of DNEG, and I'm here today with Max Dennison, who was visual effects supervisor on the Chernobyl TV series. When I saw the first episode, it immediately pulled me in an immersive way that felt like almost like time travel, like I was being taken back to the 1980s. I remember the disaster well on the news reports at the time and followed it very avidly, and it gave an incredible sort of front row experience of the events at the time. Was it clear to you from the outset that visual effects was going to be a big part of the storytelling?
Yes, I think it always was. I think it always was going to be important because we would be going back to a place that doesn't exist anymore, and a very big place. Chernobyl site covers about 12.5 odd square kilometres, of which only a portion of that remains in its original state. So I think there was always going to be visual effects in the show, but the story is about people. It's about the intimate little stories of people's lives, how they're affected by it. And so our job really was to create an environment for those people. They decided to shoot in Lithuania, in Vilnius.
Yes.
And we had
which of course was part of the Soviet Union.
Which is part of the Soviet Union at the time. Ignalina nuclear power station, which is on the northeastern border, is a twin of Chernobyl. It's an RBMK reactor also.
What did you have to do to take this place and turn it back into Pripyat 1986?
Thankfully, there wasn't really much that we needed to do. I mean, nowadays there's satellite dishes and there's a lot of UPVC windows and modern cars and modern bits and bobs. But that was really it.
I think you used to mention that you had to reduce the scale of the place because it was much bigger than Pripyat.
Well, it was. I mean, Pripyat was quite a small town, about 3.5 kilometres from Chernobyl. All the workers lived there and worked in the plant. Fabianiskas is part of Vilnius, and you've got the whole conurbation of Vilnius all around it. So one of the things that we had to do for a certain number of shots was really to bring the outlying forest, because Pripyat was in a forest, bring that forest back in. So we had to cut away an awful lot of the background chatter, and so we made it feel much smaller. So what you'll see is, beyond a certain point, it will go off into forest.
I mean, one of the things also that strikes me is that watching the show is the restraint that's shown by the filmmakers that, in general, I think characterises a type of filmmaking which I think we've seen before in feature films. You know, you think about the work that we did on Dunkirk and on First Man recently, where there's a sort of documentary level of realism to it. And it's unadorned. It's not the kind of large-scale visual effects work we associate with big action movies and science fiction films.
Yes, yes.
But I think this is the first time I've seen that documentary level of realism brought to a drama in this way. And was that something that did you feel it was going to be like that from the outset?
I think we felt that it had to reach that level. I think that was the goal. I think if we hadn't, it wouldn't have been as successful for us.
No.
I think there was always an understanding that we had to reach that goal. And again, it's important to remember that, Craig had done a huge amount of research.
This is Craig Mazin, the writer and producer.
And I'd had various conversations with him, long conversations, about the science, about for example, the blue glow. And we got to a point where we thought, well, if you don't get that level of realism, if we don't get that level that you're talking about, then we really haven't done our job properly.
No.
Behind that, there has to be a desire to really say, well, look, I'm going to make these effects invisible. They have to be invisible. And I think if we obey all those rules, then you can hit those marks. Filmmaking now for TV is honest. I think there's a lot of very interesting stories coming out. And I think there has to be an honesty with the visual effects as well. Visual effects is another character in the show.